He just, that kid like poked his leg
with a stick,
and he turned around and just
just
him.
literally slit his throat. Yeah.
It's like, geez.
All right, boys, where do we begin with this one? House of the Dragon Season 3 finale. We just finished watching it. What is your guys' initial thoughts after the end of the episode here?
I thought it was a good finale. I thought as a finale for this season, I thought it was good. It was setting up this battle throughout the whole season, and then to finally see it come to fruition, I thought, there were some big moments in there.
Yeah, there was definitely some big moments for sure. I thought there would be more surprises or more things I didn't expect or more twists and turns, but it was pretty straightforward. It wasn't that it was bad. It definitely wasn't disappointing in any way. It was pretty solid. I think it was a pretty good finale. I don't think it was like the most epic thing ever, but I think it was a pretty solid finale and a pretty good wrap up to the season. And I really like the season overall. I'd say this might have been, to memory, I hate being recency biased, but probably my favorite season of the 3 so far.
I'd probably still have season 1, but again, we just finished this, and I haven't watched season 1 and 2 for a while, so after probably go back and rewatch them. But
my only thing with season 1 is I think I like the characters aged up and older, just those actors and actresses, better than the younger versions.
Really?
Like Aegon and Aemond and Rhaenyra. I like all the older versions of them better. Yeah.
I like the younger ones, but
yeah, I think it had some things that we didn't expect. I thought there'd also be more to some other stories that were going on.
Yeah,
right.
We kind of didn't get as much, but still, I think it was a pretty good finale overall.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's just go ahead and dive right into spoilers because there's not really much we can go in on here besides just ripping the Band-Aid off. So
the beginning, it kind of showed, it was Rhaenyra kind of walking through the Red Keep, and then it kind of said that news reached the Red Keep that Aegon and Sunfire are alive.
Correct,
So we see Rhaenyra's reaction to that, and then she storms into Daemon's room and then lets him know. Then they kind of have that scene of them two together.
Yeah, because we start with the Maester. He's rushing in to see Rhaenyra. He wakes up, and then she's in a panic when she goes to see Daemon. Daemon was putting his armor on, and she's in a panic because of Aegon learning that him and Sunfire are alive.
Yeah.
So that was kind of the main thing. I didn't think she would be, well, I guess because he has people that can that he can raise up to kind of contest the throne.
Yeah.
But I mean, just Aegon just seems like he has nobody on his side. Now, we saw that developed a little bit here. Didn't they say the High Septon had said something about that they were looking at this as a prophecy that he's the rightful heir?
Yeah, the whole time the High Septon and them have been like against Rhaenyra. That's why she stormed in there later and demanded and everything. But yeah, so that's why I think, because that's what Rhaenyra's main thing was, the High Septon, to let them and the King's Landing people know that she's the right, the queen.
To officiate that she's the queen. Right, exactly. She basically instructs Daemon to march on Tumbleton to get the battle started.
She also told him to go house to house and kill every high tower and
kill every high tower you see. Yeah,
and then we kind of saw her grow increasingly more authority wise, because they had that scene with her and Baela where she ends up grabbing Baela's face and saying you insolent child, and
Yeah, because Baela kind of mouths off to her a little bit, saying that Corlys was captured because of her, and this
what is
all
she
her
going to do
fault,
about
and
it?
She doesn't. And basically, if somebody, whoever's in her life, like family members, friends, if they're not useful to her at the moment, she just doesn't care about them at all.
Discards them.
Yeah, exactly. So it seems like she's kind of losing the faith of some of her close advisors and family members.
That
here.
inner circle is definitely breaking.
Yeah, definitely can see some chinks in the armor for sure with that.
Yep, and then she ordered her to lock in her chamber. So that's why she really wasn't in the battle at all, or kind of in the episode after that. Yeah, she was just kind of locked away. And then she ordered Adam and Hugh to kind of guard King's Landing, which we'll go back on Hugh later. But Adam and them were just kind of around King's Landing there. And then Alan was with Rhaenyra when they went to that sept. So the main kind of early part of the episode was just setting up the battle, kind of jumping around between plot points, seeing where people were at.
And they were just doing prep work for the battle. Exactly. Yeah.
She also sent away her one advisor.
Yeah, Massaria was sending her to Bravos or Pentos. I think it was
they were going to send her to Pentos. Yeah. So they came in, and even the
handmaiden.
Yeah, exactly. She was like, I don't get it either.
Yeah.
So she was like, yeah.
We kind of thought too, I was like, there's no way she's just going to be gone. Then we see her, and when they were traveling out of there, chaos erupted, and she just escaped out of there. So,
and we obviously saw her talking to Helena,
Yep,
which I was surprised that the guards weren't a little bit more authoritative with them there.
Yeah.
They just were kind of letting them speak, even though she was basically down talking the queen.
Yeah.
She was basically, saying, don't trust the queen, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah, Aegon's alive. And,
exactly. Yeah, you would think any of that, that would be treasonous talk. So you would think that the Queen's Guard or just any of the knights around there would have something to say about that. Let's just kind of touch on Helena a little bit. So yeah, we had seen her out at the gods, what it looked like. And then as she was getting escorted back to her chambers, she had a weird look. She was looking at that white horse with the carriage that was there.
Yeah.
I think it was the white horse that she had kind of seen in her vision. So she was kind of tripped out by that a little
Yep.
bit. And then when she gets back to her chamber, she's just sitting there knitting. They have food prepared for her. She's not eating.
Yep.
Like usual, she's doing her same three things. It's either knitting, not eating, or crying is the same three
Or with
things.
some
She's
with an
always-
animal.
Yeah, exactly.
Bugs.
When Rhaenyra goes in there, tries to be friendly with her and instruct her to eat, she just doesn't trust Rhaenyra at all. She was just saying, "Stop acting like you care about me."
Yep. You're ugly.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, the boom roasted. Rhaenyra kind of was just growing tired of being patient with her, so she
Yeah.
instructed her to eat, and then she refused to eat. She just picked up her thing and just started knitting again. And then Rhaenyra just was like, "You're forcing my hand," and then she
Yep.
basically made her guards force feed her. Yep. So I'm definitely seeing some signs of Rhaenyra here. Definitely going a little bit mad queen. It kind of seems.
Kind of hit her breaking point.
Yep, and she's losing some of the trust of like her advisors and inner circle, like we said, and she's definitely making a turn for the worse. She's definitely getting a little bit more ruthless as time goes
Yeah.
on.
Let's get started into the Battle of Tumbleton now. Let's
Okay.
get into the meat of the episode. We saw Ormond lining the gates with children, which
Yeah.
comes back throughout the
a
episode.
pretty morbid play,
Yeah, I know.
but somewhat of a smart one if you think about it from a strategy perspective,
Yeah.
because you had seen Rhaenyra say like to Daemon when she was instructing them to go begin the battle. She was telling him don't harm any women or children, don't harm any of just the common people, because you know what I mean? Like the realm is watching. We got to make
Yeah.
sure I still have the favor of the realm post battle. So after we win, the realm will still favor me and support me.
Yeah.
In being the queen and ruling over them. They knew that. So Ormond was lining the castle walls with the kids with
Yep.
like little mini shields and like
Yeah.
little spikes and stuff.
Yep.
And so basically it was a way to try and get the dragons and the other soldiers that were going to climb the ladders and stuff to not attack
Yep.
the walls, because they'd be just killing children.
Children, yeah.
So and we even saw that later in the episode with Daemon. Daemon went with Caraxes to try and
the front gate.
blow the gates open, and they just had all the kids line up in front of the gate. But then obviously they ended up clearing
Yeah,
out.
it
So,
kind
yeah.
of looked like two. Were
Yeah,
kind
except
Yeah,
for
two
two of
tried to
them.
stand on business, and then
they
Daemon
kind of
just
ran, but
yeah.
they definitely got caught. I feel like they
Yeah.
didn't show it, but we saw later too that Stark that climbed the tower. He just that kid like poked his leg
with a stick.
and
yeah.
he turned around and just
yeah,
killed
just
him.
literally slit his throat. Yeah.
Ruthless.
It's like, geez. Saw Ormond a lot through this episode. He ends up battling later, but a lot they were looking for Ulf.
Yeah,
That was
that's
a lot
pretty
of
much what
big
he's
part.
doing a majority of the battle.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're both looking for Ulf on both sides. So
Yeah.
we can kind of touch on that. We saw Ulf getting
In that tavern.
Yeah, he was getting drunk at that tavern in hiding. Nobody knows where he's at.
Yeah.
So they're looking for him the entire time. He's not on his dragon. He's not where he's supposed to be.
Yep.
So obviously Daemon thinks he's supposed to be on his dragon waiting to
attacking with
run
them or, yeah.
support in the battle.
Yep.
And then Ormond basically thinks he's, ready to turn
Yep, a big
and
piece.
attack for him. Exactly right. So yeah, they're looking for him. He's not on his dragon. So they're spending the whole episode running around looking for him throughout Tumbleton. And then Damon's doing essentially the same thing. He's sending out search parties trying to find him as well.
Yeah, because they have his dragon, but he wasn't on it. So
Exactly.
that's what, he's like, where could he be? Like, where is he then?
Yep. And then they end up finding him eventually. They find him. He's in like a bathroom stall. Yeah, he's in like an outhouse.
Blacked out.
And then we basically see him. This was kind of the big twist of the episode. We obviously knew he was going to support Ormond, which Daemon and them weren't going to see coming. But then he ends up turning and just not supporting either side.
Yep,
So
he's
yeah,
like,
when he gets
both sides.
exactly when he gets on his dragon, Daemon's army starts cheering for him flying in, and then he basically does a 180 and
Turns.
burns them up.
Yep.
Yeah.
And then when Ormond's on the castle walls, he's happy to see him, and then he flies in and starts hitting the town.
Yep.
And it really reminded me of when Daenerys attacked King's Landing.
Yep,
It
in
looked like
season
some of
8.
those same shots where she
Yep.
was just flying over, just burning up the entire town.
That too, where it was shown towards the end, the like carnage of the whole like the city and everyone just like walking around hurt. It reminded me of that too. I think they
Exactly.
did that in season 8 of Game of Thrones, where they were showing the city just in ruin,
The
pretty
infamous
much.
season 8.
But yeah, I think Ulf too, after Ormond found him and was like hitting him when he was like, "You've had one job." I
Yep.
think that's when he kind of made
Yep.
his choice. Like,
Yeah.
I don't
Yeah,
care about
like
either
he was
side.
basically get on your dragon and do as you're told.
Yeah.
yeah. He's basically
Same as Daemon was
he's
saying.
just. I think he's just sick of those authority figures, obviously. So
Yeah.
yeah, he just doesn't want to support either side.
And then we saw a lot of Gwaine and Darren this episode too, and they kind of went off on their own little side
True.
mission,
Little
that
side quest.
Ormond did not know what was happening.
Yep. Yeah, exactly. They basically tried to speak to Daemon and sue for peace.
Yep. And using Corlys as like a prisoner, like to deal him over as an offer for peace.
Yep.
Which Damon, does not.
It just seemed like he didn't even care. He was just like, okay, like this is your offering, basically.
Yep.
He kind of just laughed that off.
Yep. They do get Corlys back, but Gwaine ends up going back in the city. They kind of let him go to tell Ormond, but we saw how that went.
Yeah, I thought Daemon was about to hit Gwaine with an Undertaker choke slam there for a second, the way he grabbed his throat and was holding him. Yeah. He basically said, you can stay out here and die, or you can just go back inside the walls and then we'll just kill you later. So, yeah.
That was funny, his reaction when that, one, kid or whatever came over and said, Darren, or what did he say? Damon rejected your terms. And he's like, terms?
Yeah, exactly. I saw that coming right when he, turned around. I was like, he's going to be like, what terms? Yeah.
Yeah, that was good. And we saw Darren, too, we saw him with his dragon, but then they end up going outside. I think that's when Ulf was attacking. Right. And then we didn't end up seeing kind of what happened with Darren or Gwaine, really, at the end, did we? That was the last thing. Oh, yeah. And was looking for Darren. Yeah, that was the last thing we saw. Yeah. So definitely, I think they're both alive, obviously, but.
Yeah, because Darren, he basically the entire episode, Gwaine is just trying to get Darren to leave and be in safety because Darren wants to,
fight.
Yeah, wants to fight alongside his supporters because he's like, what am I? It seems like he's got good principles because he's like, what am I going to look like just fleeing? He's like, I either have to fight or I have to flee, and I'm definitely not going to be the person to flee. So he was like, I'm going to get on the back of my dragon and get out there and fight. But we knew that wouldn't have ended well for him. So
then after seeing the kids too on the wall, I think that was definitely
warranted him to
push him more.
Warranted him to want to get out there and support him and fight alongside of him.
I like Gwaine. I think he grew on me a lot this season. He's pretty funny character. Then I think he's just a good character in general too. Yeah. Then we also saw Hugh this episode. We didn't see him at all last episode. The last time we saw him was 2 episodes ago in Tumbleton with his wife. Yep. So to see him, and then Daemon thought he would be on Vormithor, but nope, he was just running on the ground.
Right, yeah. He was just running in with all the other soldiers when they went through the gate.
And Daemon looked at him.
He wanted to go get his wife. Yeah. Yep. So Vormithor basically serves no purpose in the battle. He was just
sitting on the outside.
Exactly. He runs there to get his wife, and even Daemon just looked even more confused because he's like, I can't find Ulf, and then now my other dragon rider that's supposed to be running support, you're just running in here with everybody else.
Yeah, he just turned and was yelling for Ormond because that's what he wanted. But
so they didn't really have any dragon support at all because Ulf turned on him.
Just Caraxes, but that's Daemon's.
And then you had Caraxes, but Daemon was in there fighting on the ground, so Caraxes basically just blew the gate open, and that was it.
Yeah. Well, at the very end, we saw Silverwing flying, and Caraxes going after because it was with fire on Silverwing.
Yeah, and Caraxes was blowing some fire at him too.
Yeah,
so he definitely looked like he was trying to take him down on the way out there.
Was there 3 dragons or just 2? Was it the Vermithor too?
Vermithor was following behind.
Okay,
he was taking off and following behind him. Really, the only other thing we see is we assume Hugh's wife is dead. At the very end of the episode, kind of in the aftermath, he barges into that house that she was in, and she was just laying on the ground. Now, it didn't show her with any serious wounds or anything, but he picked her up and he was trying to wake her up essentially, and then he ended up screaming because I think we're just supposed to take that as she died. So I could see him having an Ulf type of turn. He's a little bit more trustworthy than Ulf, but I could definitely see him having an Ulf type of turn now that his wife is dead. Yeah. I could see him flipping sides.
I could see him too kind of saying no sides, just kind of getting out
of
there.
Or that, doing what Ulf did, and just saying no sides. I'm not going to support
maybe not
either
attacking
party
either
here.
side, but maybe he'll just leave.
Yeah, take Vermithor and just go.
Yeah.
So let's touch on my my favorite part of this episode, which was Aegon randomly popping up in Harrenhal to confront Aemond. At first, we thought it was Vhagar.
For a second, but then you saw the size a little bit, but
because you see Aemond wake up in his room, you hear a dragon outside. We instantly thought Vhagar, here comes Vhagar coming back. And he goes out there to see what it is, and then you just see a dragon flying overhead. At first, we thought it was Vhagar. Yeah. And then we ended up seeing that it's Sunfire, and Aegon lands there. And we almost thought it was a dream for a second. We thought it was a vision for a brief moment.
We're used to that at Harrenhal.
Yep, exactly. Yep. So we thought Aemond was having another one of his visions, but it ended up being true. So Aegon was there to confront him.
We saw too because he was limping when he got off.
Yeah, when he got on, he was stumbling over. We were like, oh yeah, that's Aegon. He confronts him, and the confrontation was pretty funny. But then Aemond just seemed to fully cooperate and just be unbelievably calm with him. Yeah. And Aegon, because it was even thrown off by that, because he was like, what are you doing? This was supposed to be more fun than this. I was supposed to enjoy this more. And he was really big brothering him there. Aemond used to not let Aegon really talk down to him that much when he got older, but now he was just unbelievably calm with him. And he had called Alice his betrothed.
Yep.
Because Aemond was Aegon was like, who the hell is that? And he was like, that's my betrothed. Yeah. So yeah, that was a good scene.
Then Aegon wanted to go to Tumbleton. He's like, let's go to Tumbleton.
Yeah, he was
Vhagar.
Yeah, because Aemond was essentially like, "What happens now?" And he was like, "Well, we're gonna go find Vhagar, and then me and you are both gonna fly to Tumbleton
And reclaim the throne.
Yeah, because he wanted to go join in on the battle.
And we also kind of figured out Alice might be a little older than she.
Yeah, we
perceived.
thought that with like the witch.
As
her
we were
story.
kind of theorizing, she really gives Melisandre vibes from Game of Thrones.
Yeah.
She wears one of those amulets, so like I assume when she takes that off, it would reveal how old she actually looks.
like hundreds of years older, like
Yep.
Or
100.
it could just be a curse, like she talked about that curse. So
Yeah,
maybe
that
it's something
story.
different. Who knows?
Yeah, because it's like Harrenhal.
Final kind of thing here, just let's touch on a few of the big character deaths. So obviously we had Ormond die in the midst of the battle.
Yep, him and the Stark dude.
Yeah, him and the gray beard from the Starks. He goes in there. And they actually had a really good fight on top of the battlements, like up on the castle walls.
The wall.
Yep, he was chasing him down. He wanted that 1v1 time with Ormond. And it looked like Ormond got the best of him there for a second because he chopped his arm
Arm
he
off.
chopped his
or,
arm off.
like, up to his elbow. Yeah.
Yep. So he it looked like he stabbed him through the stomach with the sword and then he chopped his arm off because homeboy Stark was going Captain America on him. He was like hitting him with the shield and it looked like he knocked a couple of his teeth out.
Yep, like hit his face.
Yeah, then Ormond hit the Uno reverse card, sliced his hand off. I thought in that moment, like, oh, he just got the best of him. Like, Ormond's going to potentially survive.
The blood
'Cause
squirting to his face.
Oh,
yeah.
yeah. That was really
From
good.
his
The blood
arm.
from the arm
Yep.
squirted onto his face, and then he went to throw up. Yeah, and then when he, like, kind of hunched over while he was gagging, he stabbed him.
Behind. Yeah, that Stark dude
stabbed
came
him
over
where
and
the
stabbed him.
sun doesn't shine. Yeah.
And then it didn't matter anyway because then Silverwing Ulf came over and just burned that whole wall.
Yeah,
so they were dead either way.
Yeah, and it was funny seeing both of their perspectives because when Ulf was flying through with the dragon, they both think they're on opposite sides, and
Yep.
Ulf is supporting their side. So they both got excited, like, here comes Ulf. And then he just burned both of them.
Yep.
So, yeah, that was good.
I think the Northman though he already knew what was going to happen.
Yeah.
He was kind of just cheering.
Yeah. Because he told Daemon when they were in the tent planning, he was like, so got it. So I'm just going to go in there, open the gate, then I have permission to die.
Yeah.
So, yeah, he was prepared to die. And then the other big character death that we really need to touch on, which is the end of the episode here, is the death of Helena. So this entire time, Helena, it's really interesting. She's been knitting this entire time, and they never directly show what she's knitting for the most part. It's always one of those things where it's in a talking scene, and you kind of have to look to the side at an angle, try to get a glimpse and piece together what she's been knitting this entire time. It's almost like she's knitting some of her visions. A lot of the things that she's seeing or a lot of the things that she's feeling, she's knitting that. She was sitting on the bed and she got up and was like looking out the window. And I almost said in the moment that it was like reminded me of Tommen from, was that season 6 of Game of Thrones?
And the 6.
Yeah, when Cersei blew up the Sept and he went up in the window and suicided out the window.
Yep.
I thought for a brief moment, like, man, that was giving me like Tommen vibes. Like she might jump out the window. And I was like, nah, that's probably just crazy to say. That might have meant something else, or maybe I'm overthinking it. And then when Rhaenyra kind of returns to King's Landing, she's walking around in the Red Keep, and then they come to find her. They go to Helena's room, and then Helena had obviously, the window was open, and you could see that what she had knitting, it looked like it was draped over the window.
Yeah, like she was holding it maybe when she jumped, or
Yep.
like, and then let it go, maybe. I don't know.
Right.
Or just set it that way.
And then they show her, it looks like she landed on like some kind of cart because she had like spikes through her, like wood
Yep.
spikes through her. She had landed on some kind of cart at the bottom. And then Rhaenyra, this is the very end of the episode here, she picks up like the ream of everything she's been sewing.
Like it showed a princess like falling, which would be Helena, like
Yep.
falling out of a window, and then it
Yep.
showed, guessing Rhaenyra on the Iron Throne.
Yeah,
and it
and
had
it-
like fire and blood kind of around her. With
Yep.
it.
Exactly. Yep. So it almost looked like she was depicting Rhaenyra as like a devil type figure.
Yeah, like
and
Mad
then,
Queen maybe.
Yes, she had basically, I don't know if she saw her death in a vision and she had knitted her death before she did it, or if she knew she was going to kill herself at some points and then
Yep.
she knitted that. I'm not too sure. And then what was really interesting was they showed Alicent for the first time in this episode. She had a very small scene in there where it looked like a bunch of butterflies and bugs or like fireflies were coming up out of the bushes and stuff and flying up into the air right after they had revealed that Helena died. So
Yeah.
obviously all the bugs and stuff that she had like befriended, I guess
Yeah.
you could say, were like flying to see her. That was super interesting. And Alicent was really thrown off by that because she was looking up in the air like, what the hell is going on tonight? Because, they all went flying off to Helena to basically symbolize her death and symbolize Alicent seeing that. And it looked like Alicent almost had, she was by herself, we thought, when she was originally leaving Harrenhal after
Yep.
poisoning Aemond. But then it ends up revealing that she,
Had people around her.
Like an escort.
yeah.
There was a little camp there with other people.
Yeah, with Helena, I think when she's seen that cart, I think that was part of her visions that we remember. Like her seeing like at least that horse. I mean, that
Yeah,
white
that white
horse.
horse.
So I
Yeah.
think that was one of her visions. And then afterwards, we seen her on a vision on the back of her dragon, killing all those people.
Yep.
So I think that she thought that was going to happen next. So then she killed herself so she wouldn't kill all those
Oh,
innocent
That's
people.
okay.
good
Yeah,
point,
that's
yeah.
a pretty good theory. Yeah, I hadn't pieced that together yet, but yeah, probably she probably didn't want to join in on the carnage, so she
Yeah.
probably just took herself out to avoid that.
Yeah.
To avoid the further bloodshed.
Yeah, it makes sense.
Yeah, that
because
probably-
we never really saw her on her dragon this entire time, other than
Right.
that vision. So yeah, she probably didn't want to do that.
Yeah, and I did see people saying that they didn't think that would actually happen. That vision of her on Dreamfire, that would never end up happening.
Yeah, at the
So-
Dragon Pit.
Mm-hmm.
All right, House of the Dragon season 3. What are your guys' ratings for this season?
I'd probably give it like an 8.5.
Mm.
I think it was a pretty solid finish. I don't have too many complaints. I thought there would be a few more twists and turns that I didn't really see coming, but it was pretty straightforward. But I'm not trying to nitpick, but I feel like there was some other things they could have done. Like there was definitely some battles that were more exciting in Game of Thrones and in House of the Dragon. There was definitely some better battles, but I feel like it was overall pretty solid. The Battle of Tumbleton. I'm happy we got it this season and they didn't push it off till season 4. This might be kind of a hot take, but I think the first couple episodes of the season were better than the back half. Like I think the first 3-4 episodes were better than some of the ones in the back half here, because I feel like it started off really hot.
I agree with that. I think I'd give it an 8. Like you said, the earlier part of the season was better. I was expecting kind of more bigger deaths, at least for this finale.
Yeah.
But we didn't really get that. So could have been a little better in that aspect. But there's still
Yep.
a lot of stuff that's kind of out there that we don't know what's going to happen exactly. So I'm kind of interested to see what happens the
Right.
next season.
I agree. I would give it, I'm the same thing, like 8.5 for this season as a whole. You know, I thought it started really strong with the first 2 episodes, and then obviously a lot of like setup throughout, which makes these episodes in the finale pay off better when you have those setup episodes, so it makes sense.
Right.
But again, this episode, I like this finale as well. I thought the kind of visual effects, which we didn't really touch on much, but you
Yeah.
have the dragons and then some of the shots of like the city in ruin and the
Right.
dragon in the background and stuff. So I thought that was really good. Overall, yeah, I would give it an 8.5.
And I agree with you, Sean. I thought there would be bigger character deaths. That's what I kind of mean by bigger twists or things we didn't expect to happen. Like I didn't expect the Helena death, especially in that way.
Yeah.
It didn't shock me when it happened because she seemed like she wasn't even eating, she wasn't sleeping, she just seemed extremely depressed. So it didn't shock me that she had killed herself like that. I didn't really see it coming in that moment. Like I didn't think they would cap the end of the episode off with that.
Yeah.
But then really the only other big death we got was Aemond, which we already foresaw coming. We knew he was dead meat from the beginning, right when they were setting up the Battle of Tumbleton.
But that's pretty big blow to that whole Team Hightower side because he's kind of
Right.
been leading that this entire time.
Exactly.
So I'm curious on what's going to be, who's going to be, probably Aegon and Aemond kind of
Yep.
leading in the final season. But
yeah.
we'll see.
Thank you guys so much for watching our review of House of the Dragon Season 3. We really appreciate it. Thank you guys so much for staying every week and watching all these videos. If you have done so, please leave a like down below. Leave in the comments what you guys thought of the season. We appreciate you guys watching. Thank you so much.
Peace.